Hey dudes, it's Luca the Gamer 101 here today. If you looked at the title, you'd know that we were actually going I'm actually going to be talking about uh, how one of my trips in I mean my first hiking trip, which happened just this January. I'm really lucky to be able to go on it. It was my godfather's 50th birthday party, and yeah, so we headed there to the Milford Trek. Pretty sure you guys have heard of it in some way or another before. It's a really nice trek. It's really good, except for when on the second day it starts torrents of rain. I almost died twice in that trek. So, I'm going to be going into that later, but I'm going to start the trek from start to finish, telling you all of the people who were with me. Okay, so first of all, let's start off with the people. There's me, of course, Luca. I'm pretty sure you guys know that I was one of the people in the story. There's my sister Mia. You might have heard her in a few videos. Maybe my April Fool's video that I made 2 years ago. And and then there was Gray, the head of the sporty kids, sort of. There was Lucila and Nicholas, the Brazilian kids who we headed off with. I'm also partially Brazilian. They were actually uh, they're actually the children of the guy of my godfather, uh, who turned 50. So that's nice. So we headed off, and then of the sporty kids group, there was this girl who looked chubby, but she could go super quickly. Who knows? She's not fast at running, but she's really good at pacing herself walking. She was sort of mean to me. There was this girl is practically one of those sassy girls you'd see in a TV show. We're just gonna call her Amulet because I don't actually remember her actual name. And then there's this girl. Uh, Her name is really weird, anyways, but I don't remember it. I'm not gonna say it anyways because it just. I'm pretty sure less than 5,000 people in the world have that name, along with Luca. So that's nice. Luca with two C's, just in case you guys wanted some clarification, because that's what I'm called at school. I have a lot of nicknames at school, so let's just drop that. I can explain it in a later video. So we were just doing our own thing. On the first day of the trek, it wasn't that bad. I won't be going too much into detail with it, except for the last part. Not one of the times I almost died, but yeah. So on the first day of the trek, we set off on the bus. I was sitting next to Nicholas. We had kind of developed a sort of close relationship already, even though I met him a couple days ago. He's a nice kid. He's just a, a bit of a ditcher sometimes. He ditches people sometimes, but he's a really nice kid, good kid overall. And then his sister Lucila, she's nice also. She's around my age also, yeah. And then yeah, I stick with them for most of the ride. I talked to Gray a bit, uh, and then we got onto a boat to get to the actual hiking location. So that's a good thing. We got there. We did what we needed to do. Then we left on the boat to get to a new place, which was the start of the trek. We only had to walk around 20 minutes. It wasn't insane, honestly. I stayed with the rest of the group. Everybody was in this sort of singular group. All of the kids today, the only day of them all, by the way. And yeah, that was about it. And so later there was a 1 hour optional trek. I want to work up my strength, so obviously I'd be one of those people to go on the trek. So the optional hike. And so it was to a waterfall. Sky's blue, sun's out. That's great. Just as the rest of the time, we had gone there 1 week before to prepare for it. It was sunny all day, every day. It's no joke, no joke. There, it's sunny all day, every day. Completely fine, no problem there. And yeah, so we just thought of nothing of it, except we saw some clouds in the distance. But they would go over the mountains as they had already done the previous days. I'm probably doing a lot of foreshadowing right now, but they never actually left. Okay, so that's great. I had told them we stayed there for a few minutes. The sporty kids left and got there before us. We were walking at a sort of slower pace. Uh, and yeah, that was it. The thing is that before I left early, also because I eat fast, I do everything pretty quickly. I'm a rush person. I told my parents that I would leave, but Nicholas and Lucilla didn't tell their parents that they would leave early. So when we got there, we just stayed there for a few minutes, ate a few snacks before it was game time or whatever it was. Um, and then for before it started, uh, their parents came over, uh, grounded them for a while. So the next day, I sort of felt the urge to stick with them for a while because who knows until they get sort of grounded again. And that's not a good thing, by the way. Uh, and so I said, Nicholas, hey, why don't we go trekking tomorrow? And he's like, sure.
Goodbye, Lodge. Goodbye, Glade Lodge. You will be missed. Let's go in this bathroom. Okay? Goodbye, Glade Lodge. Yes. Okay? Yeah, bye. Goodbye, Lodge. Bye.
At the beginning of the day, we were about to set up for the trek. We did what we needed to do. We got ready. We packed our lunches, which we'd be having on the trek, and we finally set off. I set off with Nicholas. Lucilla stayed a bit behind us. Amulet and Gray went ahead of them with the sporty girl and the quiet girl, who were sisters. And yeah, so that's great. And in the end, when we got to a marsh, which was taking pictures point, um, we just did what we needed to do. We took a few pictures. I can even put some on the screen right now because I'm too lazy not to. And yeah, and then we left. We took the trek a bit. Then Nicholas and I took the trek a bit. We found out a bit about each other. It was nothing too insane. Just what part of Brazil do you live in? Oh yes, this part. That's great. What's the population of the city you live in? Just yeah. And then yeah, so that was about it for us. And then we we got to the lunch point and we ended up finishing before anyone else. Note that the temperature. Oh wait, shoot! I forgot to go over this detail. On the beginning of the start of the second day, it started just pouring with rain, and so we had to put uh, ponchos all over our bags and stuff. And yeah, so Nicholas and I even chose to stick with a guide person, Meg. Yes, I finally remembered someone's name, and yeah, we just stick with her until lunch. And so we ate super early. We in fact got there with the first group that had left, a bunch of adults, and also Anthony and Gray, who were two teenagers. Forgot to explain them over. Uh, Great. And so we finished. They also finished pretty early, but we finished in like they finished lunch like 5 minutes, and then we finished it. They said okay, we'll go with them, and then they kind of took us from there. And so there were only two people ahead of us, two Americans, and that was about it. We took off. That yep. Then we got to a rock fall. There was literally a rock fall a couple days prior to where we had gone to it. You know, I'll just put the two clips on the screen right now, and then you guys can judge to yourself of yeah, we had to cross a river that was by it.
The bridge is gone. I have no idea how we're gonna get across. Just none. Guys, look, there's a boulder over there. We might be able to make it. Yeah, guys, we need to make... Guys, we should just follow the yellow leaf. No, that would create a dam. We don't want that. It's gonna pile up. Yeah, that way.
Let's go walk in the river.
Oh God.
Alright, how close is it? Alright.
My screen is dirty AF.
Fuck! No point putting my bloody rain jacket.
I was recording that, so that's nice. Good part about being a YouTuber, huh? We attempted to cross it. We threw rocks down there. We all threw rocks down there to try to make a path. So we didn't end up falling inside of the river and being brought down to the currents. It almost worked out not very well at all. So we had to throw out across our bags across the river. Nicholas, Drew, and Anthony threw it across the river, no problem at all whatsoever. But I sort of missed throwing mine. Mine somehow still made it over the river. I dropped my sister's bottle. Yeah, it was inside the bag. It just went straight downstream. She sort of got angry at me after that, and so then Lucas came up behind us and he's like, "Oh, dudes, what are you doing?" And we're like, "Oh, we're trying to get over." And then he taught us a way easier method. We did that. I almost fell into the river and went downstream. There was not too much to it, except for the fact that I almost fell off. And I mean, like it was not a very long fall, but if I fell, I could have just easily broken my head. So I guess that's the first time you could say that I almost died. And then we got to the second place, the second lodge, named Pompolona. It's a weird name. It was actually from one of the founders of the trek, who just happened to smoke a little too much pot. Not much happened. We got to there. It was at the base of actually the mountain I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Mount Quentin, Mount McKinnon, 1,437 meters peak. Yep. I actually climbed the mountain, and it was a pretty steep way up. So.
Hey guys, so I'm about to go to bed at the end of night 2. Sorry, night 1, I only got to get something in the morning. So I'm gonna do one of these logs. So we're in a tree hut right now. Right, like this place is really odd compared to the first day, which was completely flat. And yeah. So today we saw some beautiful places, and yeah, it's been pretty cool to do things here. Yeah. So yeah, let's keep on watching to see day 3. Yeah, we're gonna be on the trek for 8 hours tomorrow, and we're gonna be doing steep incline. It's supposed to rain for another 3 days, which is the whole trek. So that's crud. Goodbye.
The next day, it was a mountain sort of lodge, so that's nice. I actually slept in the same room as Nicholas as I had done the day before. He's actually a pretty nice roommate, and yeah, we just slept. The next day, we woke up, having a great time. We just woke up, did what we needed to do, got ready, and then we left. So from the beginning of day 2, it was a straight way up. It was straight up the mountain. And we had to climb that. So it was a path, but it was pretty steep on the edge of the mountain. I almost felt like I was going to fall off a few times. And so that's what almost happened a few times. And yeah, that's not very nice. But that I didn't almost die there. We made it to the top of the mountain, but then Nicholas got sort of impatient. He decided it would be a good idea to leave me behind. I'm actually one of the fastest, but he's a bit faster than I am. He just zoomed up that mountain, like, I'm not even joking. I got a bit tired. I'm like, Nicholas, wait up. And he's like, no, I'm too cold. And then he literally ran up the mountain. I am not joking. Mountain, yeah. Oh my god. So he actually turned out to be the first person at the halfway point of that day, the lunch place. The first person there. But I'm gonna get to that later. So I was making my way up the mountain, and then I saw Gray and his group there, except for the super fast but chubby girl. She was a bit ahead. It was very windy up there. Very, very, very windy. There was actually a photo of the sign I took over there. It was still torrents with rain. There was literally the background just right there. The background just right freaking there. And it was just pure gray. I could literally put it right on the screen right now. And so I took a picture of it. I thought, that's the last photo I'm taking today. It's a couple degrees above 0 degrees Celsius. I'm not joking. And it's torrents of rain. Not exaggerating at all whatsoever. The wind is over 50 kilometers an hour. Yeah, not exactly perfect conditions for human life, are they? So I tried to make it to the lunch place as fast as possible. I actually made it up to the sporty girl, but I completely ran out of energy. And then the sporty girl and her dad are like, "Peace!" And they just went ahead along with Nicholas. So, that's great. And then there I am, at least 20 minutes away from people on both sides. I'm just walking. And then to my left, there is a sheer cliff, like all the way straight all the way down. And then God thinks it's a good idea, if you're not atheist, to maybe get a gust of wind that's 75 miles an hour and just push it against me for like 1 second. Yeah, and I had to grab onto the ledge because I was practically falling off. I pulled myself up even with that huge backpack on my back. Noticed that there was probably at least a 200-meter drop, and so that's great. I didn't think much of it at the time of the fact that I almost died because I was so dehydrated, so tired, so everything. I finally made it to lunch place, and then I finally thought to myself, with Nicholas there, Nicholas being the first one there, everyone told me Nicholas got there first, thought he was supposed to be with me. I finally took in to register that, oh, Luca, well, crap, you almost died. Nice! So the that's very great. That's very great, guys. So in the end, I didn't go with the first group who was supposed to go down the mountain and check for flooding and stuff because they would get to go first. But if they failed, they would have to climb up for another 40 minutes and go the other way. I didn't want to go down there. Probably a bad idea because it wasn't that flooded and we could have easily made it past, except with a few waterfalls that we had to cross by. I will also put photos of that and videos of that. It's just ridiculous the amount of content that I got during that trip. So we just did what we were supposed to. I've said that way too many times. Uh, I actually left with the third group when I was supposed to leave with the second because the second group was way too full. And as the person, because they knew I would go super quickly, said, "Oh, Luca, you can catch up to us later. We'll just leave 20 minutes ahead of you and leave you with the slowest people," which happened to have my sister Mia and my two parents in there, and along with the slower Chinese people and just some South Africans at the very back, and one Italian and one American who had white hair, and he was 60, his wife was 30. Let's just put it at that, okay? That's odd. Uh, so on the third group, I headed down. There were a few waterfalls. Meg, the person I was talking about just now, helped me cross over them. You know, she's a good person overall. And so after that, I just headed down. I was way ahead of all of the other people behind me. I might have taken a piss, but it didn't matter because I was 20 minutes away from people ahead of me and behind me. I'm usually the odd man out. Nicholas went with the second group, by the way, and I just practically zoomed ahead. I caught up with the back of group 1 in the end.
Hey guys, it's day 3 and so far I've been walking for 7 hours. I didn't want a group, so I chose to stick alone. And I am trying to find Quentin Lodge, which is the next lodge. So I've walked 16 miles today, and Quentin Lodge is supposed to be popping up around now, but it hasn't. I really need to get a belt for those pants. Yeah. We need a belt. Yeah. So now I'm trying to look for it. I'm talking to myself again because I haven't spoken to anyone in like 7 hours. Oh, crud. For me. So, Quentin Lodge, here I come. Bye. Actually, no. You know what? There's about to be a waterfall with something I'd like to share you guys. It's just a little bridge over here. Little waterfall. Great. Okay then. See you guys later.
I caught up with the back of group 2, then later at the end, I caught up with Lucilla and Nicholas and their parents, and they're like, "How did you get here so quickly?" And then I just saw the instructors, the guides, just marking my name off the list to go in case of a helicopter incident, to make sure to go into helicopter 7, which was the group of second Fox's people. Yes, a 13-year-old ended up in that one because I was 13 back then. So I just stuck around with Nicholas for a while. I think I had hypothermia. I didn't actually have hypothermia, but I was so cold. I was talking to myself. I'm not even joking. My entire body was drenched. I mean, I had 3 layers of clothes on the top because it was so cold. And then a jacket on top of that. So, yeah. And then we made our way into the third lodge, the Quentin Lodge. The first name of Mr. McKinnon, who was also named after the mountain. So Quentin McKinnon had a lodge named after him, also a mountain. And so yeah, that's great. I had my shower. We did the same things we did the next 2 days, and then we woke up the next morning. We expected to leave around 6:45. The instructors called that off, and they're like, "Oh guys, wait another hour, and it happened for many hours."
So we're being stopped from going on the trek today because of flooding. Nicholas, hi. Yeah. So yeah, we're in the Quentin Lodge. You've seen a photo of it before, and we're playing. Yeah. Okay. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So bye guys. See you later.
I in fact started playing Presents and Assholes with the rest of the group plus my godfather who turned 50. I never went. I must be a legend at that game because I even played after we got back from the trek with the people before I had to come back to school. I never went below vice president. Never in the history of my career. Never went below vice president. It's odd, isn't it, guys? Strategic genius, Luca the Gamer 101. And so we just played there for a couple of hours, and they're like, this is where Group 7 is coming into contact. Okay, guys, the entire area is flooded. You're going to have to take a helicopter out of here. Good job. And so, in the end, I was the second last helicopter to leave. I was on the same helicopter as my dad. Gonna put some clips on the screen right now for you to see.
Time to get out of the chopper. Then we should. Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna record me getting on the chopper.
Thanks for finding that. You film when you're in the helicopter. Film when you're in the helicopter.
We just took off, and then we made it to the deprivation below sea level that was completely flooded, and then we made it to the place where we were supposed to be. I ended up hiking all alone, nobody with me. I just went ahead of everybody. Drew and Anthony passed me a few times, and then went behind me, and then passed me again, and then ran out of breath, and then went behind me. It went like this for a few miles and stuff, and they always went out of reach, went out of view, came back, that kind of stuff. And so we just made our way there. Pretty cool, isn't it? We did the same thing we did all of the other days. There was actually a pool table there. No Wi-Fi, just a pool table. We played there for a while. We got our T-shirts for being there. We on the beginning of the 5th day, we went on a boat, a kind of cruise thing.
So it's day 5 now. Didn't take much on day 4. We just left the lodge, the 5th lodge, and now we're on the boat trying to get a scenic view. But it's been raining for the past 5 freaking days, and it's been really annoying. So looks like we're not getting really good views this time. And yeah, so I'll come back to you at the end of this boat ride, which it's pretty windy on.
I'll put some clips on the screen. We headed down on the Milford Way. The wind speeds happen to be above 200 kilometers an hour. So I'll just show you some clips of waterfalls disappearing because of how fast the wind speed is.
Oh, I know. I was like.
So one of my favorite.
It's so strong today.
I literally tried to go out there at one point. It failed miserably. Absolutely miserably. I was literally blown back in. That's how fast the wind speeds were. Some tornadoes are slower than... I have no idea how the boat managed to stay in the water, but it did. We finally made it out on the way, and then we started heading back into inland. we made it to inland completely fine. I might have been a bit drenched and a bit knocked my head on a pole a bit on my way back in, flying in. Yeah, worked great. Then we had a dinner party as soon as we got back to where we need to be. And then one day later, when we got back to what do you call it? Jesus Christ. Queenstown. Queenstown, that's the name of the city. Not exactly a city though, because the population is so small that I don't even think it counts. There was a dinner party, and we sort of said our goodbyes there. Me and Nicholas, we besties by then. And then we head back to our countries. I've sort of forgot some of the major details of that trek, but this video was actually in celebration of how fast my channel has been growing. So if you've watched this far, which the chances are you haven't, leave a like down below because I had to make this thing at least 4 times. I'm even going to cut some parts out. Well, dudes, thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day and goodbye.